everybody. Thank you for visiting. I'm so glad that you did. It's a sunny day for a few minutes, so I thought I'd demonstrate how I dye my paper using vegetable dyes. Today I'm dyeing with beetroot. I simmer my beetroot for 45 minutes to an hour on simmer. I don't boil it at all. I just put it on simmer and simmer it. I do take the skins off and I do chop them all up before I put them into cold water. Once I've placed them in the cold water, I add a teaspoon of vinegar and a half a teaspoon of salt, and then I mix it and just let it simmer. My next process is I take one of these baking pans. It has warm water in it, and I add a little bit of alum. Alum is typically used for pickling, and what it does is it holds the color really, really well in your paper, and it won't fade. So whatever color you desire in your paper, whether it be a real red color, a real pink color, or a light pink color, it will stay that color. By adding vinegar to the water of your dye, your vegetables, it removes the acidity, so does the salt. So your paper is not affected at all. So any photos that you put on the paper after it's dyed, or if you wanted to use it in scrapbooking or things like that, you're safe if you put in a little bit of vinegar and some salt. Now, a lot of people don't use alum. I don't know why, I just do. I find that the color that you get is a richer color. And I dye with tea. I don't dye with coffee, so I do need a little bit more of a richer color. And I get that by using the alum. I think that's all I have to tell you right now. I'm hoping you can hear me, because as soon as I got out here, they started mowing across the lake. So I'm going to try and talk as loud as I can. And I won't be out here for long, because you don't need to see me dye every single piece of paper. Once I finish this video, I will leave the paper to dry, and then I'll put up another video and show you how it came out. So what I'm going to do is just open up my alum. I'm sorry, this is a new jar. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one. I have a little bit left in the other jar, but I did grab the one that wasn't open. So I use this for all of my dyeing, whether it be tea dyeing, coffee dyeing. I do use it in my coffee when I do my lace staining. I tea dye my paper first, and then I will use coffee in a spray bottle, and I will demonstrate that possibly in another video. Not the next, well, possibly in the next video. We'll see how the weather holds out, okay? Okay, so all I'm gonna do is, this is a pretty good size roasting pan, something that you possibly would use for cooking your turkey dinner, okay? So I'm just gonna take my alum. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, and I'm just gonna kinda do this in my water. And all I have in here is plain water. I'm gonna add a little bit more, that just didn't seem like enough. Okay, that's about it. I just kinda mix it up, like so. If you're going to dye fabrics with your, which I didn't bring out any, it's the same process. You put the alum in the water, you put whatever you're dyeing in the water with the alum in it. Once it's nice and wet, you do the same process as I'm going to be doing. whether it be sari silk, that's S-A-R-I silk, or cotton. Now your cotton will take a little bit longer to absorb the color. So you'll want to leave that in your color for a little bit longer. Animal fibers will take a lot less time to grab than the synthetic fibers, okay? So if you're dyeing yarns, wool, or anything like that, that will take the color a lot faster. If you're dyeing cheesecloth, it depends on the cheesecloth. If you buy the cheesecloth at the grocery store, that will pick up the color pretty fast. So I'm just taking some paper, and the first thing that I do is I take a piece of paper, and I brought my paper out in my paper container because it's a little bit breezy. And I usually have another table set up, a 6-foot table, where I'll dip my papers and then put them on the 6-foot table to dry. But I didn't know if my camera would reach that far. So I take one piece of paper. And I know this is tedious, but in my world, art can take time. You know, if you're doing a watercolor painting, or if you're doing an acrylic painting, or if you're doing an oil painting, each little part has to dry. It takes time. So this is just my way of doing it. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm not saying it's the wrong way. It's just my way. And I just thought I'd share it with you because that's what it's all about. All right, so I take my paper. I've already stirred, I've already stirred the pot, if you might, and with my alum. I take my paper, I dip it in to the alum water and wet it. Then I take it out of the alum water, let it drip off. The more you handle it, the more chance you have of tearing it. So just dip it in and take it out and let it drip. Once that's done, I lay it on a baking sheet like so. Oh, before I lay it on the baking sheet, I take a turkey baster and I'll take up some of my beetroot or avocado or carrots, depending, turmeric, whatever you want to use to dye your paper, whatever color you're desiring. So I'm going to put that in first, into my baking sheet. And I just get these baking sheets at the Dollar Tree. These are the sheets I use all the time. So then you want to place your sheet into that little bit of a bath, and it's not very level, so I'm going to kind of have to swish it around a little bit. And then my next step is to do the same. I'm going to take a little bit of this dye that I've made, which I told you, it has vinegar and salt. And then of course the vegetable, whatever vegetable you're going to use. And like I said, I peel my vegetable first. When I do my avocado, I don't use the skins, I only use the pits. They're very easy to cut. And you can keep your pits, you can dry them, or you can keep them in the freezer, whatever you prefer. I dry mine. And then when I'm ready to use them, I cut them up, I put them in the same solution. About a teaspoon of vinegar and some salt. So now that's completely covered and it's going to sit in there. I'm going to take my next piece. I'm going to do the same procedure. I'm going to place it in my bath, just like so. Place it back in on the other side and pull it out. And I'm going to place it right on top of that first piece that I put in my bath. try and get it, you know, right on top of it. And then you probably want to wear gloves. Beets do definitely dye your hands, but it's okay, it'll wash off. I didn't bring my gloves out either. So there you go. It's very cool in my house and very hot outside. I should have put on a t-shirt and my apron. I was more concerned about whether or not I was going to be able to do this video or not, so thank you for being patient. Now, I don't need to put any more in. I'm going to take my next piece and pull it out and do the same thing into my alum. And as you saw how much alum I put in there. And like I said, that will just hold that color you're looking for. And I'm going to place that right on top and see if I think I need a little bit more dye in there. So I just take it and I put it in like this. And I'll continue to do this until I get the desired color. I'll pull it up from the sides, like so. Reason why I use a basting. When you dye with vegetables, it does take a few minutes. You know, it does definitely take longer than if you were to tea or coffee stain. It takes longer for the paper to pick up the color. So I have to leave it in there a little bit longer. Here we go. Just gonna, the table is not very flat. So I'm having to kind of get enough in there so it's covering my paper, which I don't typically put this much in, but it's not level. But it's okay. It's not going to do anything to your paper. I didn't even bring out a towel. I don't want to get a lot on my paper. I'm going to try it this way. I'll pull out another sheet. Or two. That's one. It doesn't matter if it's two. Just put it in there, let it soak for a second, and pull it out. And then turn it, let it soak for a second, and pull it out. And then again, lay it flat. And just keep doing that process until you've reached the number of papers you want to dye. Once you have got your desired color of paper, I dry mine outdoors. So I'll take it, I will take the dye that's in the pan and I'll place it inside, back inside my dye, because it's good, it's still fine. I'll place it back inside my dye, and then I'll do probably 5 more sheets. Then I bring it over to my next table and I lay it out, and it takes about 10 seconds. I'm in Florida, it's triple digits. It only takes about 10 minutes max to dry. On a non-windy day, maybe a little bit longer, but yeah. So I'll do one more sheet, and then I think I'll just wrap this part up. My next video, I will do my lace stained paper and show you that process. And also in that video, I will show you the results of both, because I'll do a few of the dyed papers with the lace so that you can see the results in the video, or maybe, I don't know. I'm very technologically challenged, so lots of things I can't do. So dip it in. Again, this is the alum water. And again, this is just my way to get my best results in my colors. when I use vegetable dyes, and that's basically all I use, other than teas and coffee and a spray bottle when I do my lace. I'll also be doing a handmade paper video, and I can see that my camera has fallen, so I'm going to end this video now, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, be well, be kind, and God bless. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.